Hello, students. We would be discussing the short story A Retrieved Reformation by the famous short story writer O. Henry. First, we would take a look at the background of the author. O. Henry was born in the year 1862 on September 11th and died in the year 1910, June the 5th. He was an American author and was known for his wit and humor. His original name was William Sidney Potter. However, he wrote under the pseudonym of O. Henry. Now, he was the master of the short story genre. His wit, characterization, and plot twists at the end of the stories were adored by his readers. In fact, today's times as well, he is a widely read author. He has written around 381 short stories. Some of his most famous short stories are The Gift of the Magi. Gift of the Magi has been, adapted in various forms, theatricals, movies, etc. The Ransom of the Red Chief, The Caballero's Way, and his writings remain relevant and therefore it is celebrated as world classics. Now let's take a close look at the short story, A Retrieved Reformation. This short story is about the main character, which is Jimmy Valentine. He is a safecracker and he makes a living out of breaking safes and lockers illegally. And he, steals the money and the other valuables and then survives on that. He does this with the help of his own set of tools, and he's very proud to possess these tools. Now, the story is open with the scene where Jimmy has been in prison for 10 months, and then we come to know that his prison job was probably to fix shoes. And the prison warden told him to turn around his life and live an honest life, as the warden thinks that perhaps there is always room for redemption. After getting out of the prison, Jimmy thinks to return to his old ways to survive in the world. And we have another character, which is Brent Price. He's the detective, and he simultaneously is in search for Jimmy and is almost sure of the fact that probably Jimmy is going to take up a new criminal venture, and then he is determined to catch hold of Jimmy red handed. Now, in the meanwhile, Jimmy actually moves to another city, which is known as Elmore. And then he starts a shoemaking shop there and then makes a big business out of it. He falls in love with Mr. Adams' daughter, Animal. Mr. Adam is a banker, and Jimmy there is living under the pseudonym of Mr. Ralph D. Spencer. However, most likely the reason might have been for Jimmy to relocate to Elmore in the first place to crack the safe of the bank in town. So he wants to move to the west after he and Animal they think of getting married. So he wants to move away from the danger of somebody recognizing him and then coming after him, revealing his past life of crime to the rest of the family members of Annabelle and also Annabelle. He then says that he won't ever do a dishonest thing again and doesn't want to suffer a life of crime. And then running away all the time with Annabelle is not what he wants to do, and he definitely does not want to lose her, the love of his life. Jimmy has made actions towards changing his life and he's become a model citizen. He's engaged to the love of his life. The community respects him, and then, most importantly, he's actually thinking of giving away his tools to his friend Billy. Before leaving, however, he stops by the bank, which is Annabel's father's bank, and then he meets the Annabel's family as her father has installed a news safe. Now, everybody of the in the family actually goes to see how is the safe, new safe. Now, as Annabel's nieces, Agatha and May, were playing near the safe, Agatha gets locked inside the time locked safe. The family definitely is in shock and panic that Agatha will suffocate inside that. Jimmy decides to do something, and then when Annabelle, with this hope that probably Jimmy can save this entire situation, he thinks of doing something about the situation, and then he does the noble thing, opens his bag of safe cracking tools, and then he opens the safe in record time. Now he starts to leave the bank, probably with a feeling that he will probably have no place in Elmore or in Annabelle's life, as they might have seen his tools, and then he runs into Ben Price as he was leaving. Jimmy is ready to go with Brent Price, but to Jimmy's utter surprise, he sees that Ben Price acts differently. He acts as if he does not know who Jimmy is and walks out of the bank. He lets Jimmy be with his new reformed identity of Ralph D. Spencer, as he has been reformed by his love for Annabelle, and then he finally uses his skill to help someone instead of committing a crime. Now let's look at the major characters in this short story. First and foremostly, the protagonist, who is Jimmy Valentine. The other name of Jimmy Valentine, the name under which he disguises in the city of Elmore, is Ralph D. Spencer. In the beginning of the story, we are also introduced to the chief prison officer, who basically tells Jimmy to turn around his life, and then believes that probably Jimmy has an honest side to his character. He just needs a chance to redeem himself. And then we have Mike Dolan, Jimmy's friends, Annabelle Adams, Mr. Adam, who's the banker's, and then Annabelle Adams is his daughter, and Jimmy falls in love with Annabelle. As mentioned earlier, Ralph D. Spencer is Jimmy, who has disguised himself as Ralph in Elmore. Then we have Ben Price, the detective, who is determined to catch Jimmy red handed in his act of opening safes. Then we have Billy, who is Jimmy's friend, and then Jimmy wants to give away his tools to him and do away with his past life of crime. Mr. Adams, he's the banker. Me and Agatha are the daughters of Annabelle's sister. Now, let's look at the essential themes in the short story. First and foremostly, we can see that one can redeem and change with the help of society. We see that, O. Henry describes the character of Jimmy, and then he muddles the line between good and bad. Ben Price's unexpected reaction to Jimmy or Ralph D. Spencer further complicates this gray area. There's always chance wherein the society can also help a person to redeem for the better. Then we can talk about the theme of love which can bring in reformation. We see that Annabelle's love basically changes Jimmy. Having witnessed Jimmy's heroism, made a genuine by the fact that he had been willing to risk his newfound happiness in the name of helping someone else. This probably helps or enables Ben's decision of letting go Jimmy, and then letting him live a new life. So, this final act of mercy implies that, in Ben's eyes, probably that Jimmy is a truly reformed person, and then probably Annabelle's love has actually reformed him for the better. Then we see the theme of work, ethics, and morality. Life as Ralph has made Jimmy a better man, and Ralph survives in the form of Jimmy's newfound selflessness. Opening the safe is an admission of Jimmy's true identity. He wants to help people, he doesn't want to resort to his earlier past ways of criminal activities, and then he wants to live a good life. And then lastly, we see the importance of how justice and law can play a huge role in our society, and then a goodness in a convict or a person, a thief, can be brought out. Happy studying, and I have put here an image of O. Henry to give a face to the name. Thank you.